Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens, discussing controversial issues that affect you, others, and the future, dedicated to finding strategies and answers in the world gone mad. And now, here is the VOR Watchman Report. Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report. This is Isaac Gabriel with you, bringing you news that brings clarity to our times in a world gone mad. If there's ever a time that we need clarity and understanding of the times, it is now. There is a web of deception. There is a cloak of seduction that is going to continue to keep taking many people, covering their eyes and taking them by surprise. This is the point of the great deception. I said this, and the Word of God says this. This is not something that I will back away from. Most political newscasts, most stations are going to just talk about politics, left and right. Think about this. You need to vote for who is going to stand up for the people. Not just what's going to stand up for a few individuals, but who is going to turn a country around. Because the reality is, our country is near collapse. Our country is in a point to where if it doesn't turn this thing around, is superpower America as a superpower will be lost. You know that we're the nation that is standing in the way of a global takeover. You just look at Europe. Just look at the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is losing its power, and pretty much Islam's taking over in the United Kingdom. Those are people that do not want anything to do with your country. They're there for takeover. These are things that we don't talk about much because we really don't believe in these things. There are too many who put their hopes in other things. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not going to beat around the bush because there's too many people like, oh, don't get people offended. We have become a crystallized generation. You're critical on everything. You're offended in everything. And we can't even have a good conversation. We can't even have a fair debate, and we do what is called the blame shift game. What is the blame shift game? When you are the ones who actually do the crime, you're the one who actually has done the wrong, you don't admit it. You refuse to take responsibility, and you point the finger at somebody else and say, you're the problem. It's you. When they're not even in power, they're not even in the office, and you're still telling them it's their fault. I'm telling you, I'm going there today because this is wickedness. This is a diabolical, sinister agenda that wants to corrupt everything. And in fact, the media has been bought. The media no longer is on the side of the people. The media has been sold to the highest bidder. Whoever will continue to keep covering and burying the lies, that will continue to keep burying and cover the corruption, they are the ones who get hired. And all the other stories get thrown out because we are being told this is what we need. It's propaganda. Propaganda is swaying your opinion to another side that you don't agree with. You don't agree with so many things, but yet you'll go with it. Because it's all about personality. It's all about charisma. That's over with. That's over with. And Christians, we need to get on this because I'm a minister. I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. And I had to come out and start doing these kind of programs because pastors, we have lost our backbone. We're afraid to speak about these issues because we don't want the people to crucify us. Well, let me tell you this. This is why the VOR has made this platform, to give us an opportunity to share. If we're in a country that still gives us the freedom of speech, why don't we use it? Why don't we speak about these issues of our day? Why don't we make a difference? Instead, we go along with the people. We have to start standing up, not only for what you believe, but for what is right. We have lost our compass. It was always God's intention for his ministers. Ministers are called civil servants, not only civil servants of the church, but also to see the things that are happening in the culture, in current events, and giving you understanding of the times. We lost that because prophecy became personal prophecy. a lot of this prophetic became politics. It's all about politics. Just like we have politics in government, we have politics in the church. And because of that, people will not address the issues of our day. And I don't care if you get offended. I don't care. I'm going to be obedient to God. That is what he called his messengers to be. And I'm not going to be ashamed of that. But I need to tell you like it is. Nobody wants to do that because they're afraid to lose their position. What position? They're afraid to lose their power. They're afraid to lose their leadership. But if you notice, there is a political shifting. The church is coming under a dismantling. A collapse is taking place. Why? Because our system, the way that we have politically positioned the church in our day is falling apart. So is the thing in our government. Where is the exposing? Only God can make a difference, but we have pushed him out of the churches and we have pushed him out of politics. He was always meant to be in the middle. In fact, that's how this country became great. Not because of our leadership, not because of our government, not because of our presidents, but because in God we trust. I am passionate about this. We look to Tucker Carlson. We look to Joe Rogan. We look to all these different people because they're popular. But where is the ones who have a true understanding of the times? They have their own true understanding of what happens in the world and what happens in the things that circle faith. We have separated. We have created this separation of church and state. And the reason why there was a separation was that government was not to enforce and be dictator over the church. And the church was supposed to be the one who stood their ground in this governmental age. Instead, the state becomes God and God gets removed. But the day is coming and the day is now. And listen, we thought that the election before was crazy. Watch what happens in this election. In fact, they're going to paint Kamala Harris. They're going to paint her as this savior. And people are beginning to idolize her and make her look like she's all of this and that. But there is an agenda behind it all. I know that a lot of people don't like Trump. I know that a lot of people consider him a bully, or he considers what he says and all of this. But he's done some things. And I'm telling you, we need somebody strong to lead a failing nation. We put a grandpa in the White House. And it was for a reason, to create all of this collapse, create all this corruption, and then turn it over to somebody else to keep it going. They want to deconstruct it. You don't see it because you believe the lies. You believe the deception of the media. The media keeps feeding these lies, and we have bought into it. I'm going to tell you my heart on this, and I'm going to give you reason to believe that you can be so deceived that you'll be drawn into exile. What are you talking about? That's why we're not prepared for what's about to take place. In fact, it's going to be so crazy. There's going to be civil unrest. There's going to be an uprising because it's going to cause anger, rage, and people against one another. Oh, that's not going to happen. Man, I don't know what planet you're living on. I don't know what country you're from, but America is far from perfect. And I'm going to say this with all my heart. We have abandoned our principles. We have abandoned our morality, and we have turned it over to people that think they know better, and that because they're on the top, we have to follow them. And we refuse to stand up. We refuse to make a difference. And because of that, we're not fighting back, because we have a nation of pacifists. We have a nation that refuses to fight back. We have a nation that refuses to fight for faith. They refuse to fight for the family. They refuse to fight for truth. What is truth? We don't even know what truth is anymore. Truth has been thrown out. It's just become relative. Truth is in the eye of the beholder. Even the scripture says the truth has fallen in the streets. And now the truth of our day is through social media. How did this become our main news, where true journalism was thrown out, where the true stories are not being told because nobody wants to cover them anymore. Nobody wants to go on site anymore. Nobody wants to cover because they know if they bring those stories, it is going to expose the wickedness and the corruption that surrounds it. And the people will go down with it. But I believe with all my heart that these new alternatives, these new podcasts that are coming out is about to stir up a new fight. It's going to stir up a new zeal and passion for the truth, for what can change the course of history. And they are not journalists. They are not bought by government nor globalist Mongols. They have a commission from God himself to stand in the midst of adversity, to stand in the midst of accusations, to stand in the midst of corruption and tell you it's not right. Not because they're government leaders, it's because they have been commissioned by God to stand in the midst of a wicked and perverse generation. I'm going to tell you, we don't say these things because we're afraid of the people. We're afraid of what they will say. But are you more afraid of them or are you more fearful of God? We lost the fear of God. We lost the fear of God completely. And that is why we don't have a backbone. And I'm starting with every preacher and every minister. If you go back to the history of ministers and preachers, they were active in government. They were active in Congress. They were active in city councils. They were active. But we allowed the system to push us out. And it's time to make a difference. It's time to, Christians, we make Christianity a laughing stock, a farce. I know I'm going to get a lot of people offended. I don't care. I'm going to tell you that Christianity has become this light Christianity. Just because you listen to Christian radio, just because you read Christian books and you call yourself Christian, but you're not active in the current issues of our day. You're not active in who gets chosen and picked in elections. In fact, they say that 60% of evangelicals do not vote. Why? Because you don't fit my criteria. You're not a pastor. You don't speak right. I'm glad I'm not a politician. I'm glad I'm not in politics because nobody would pick me because I'm going to stand for, and I will not be bullied around. May God give us boldness to stand up against this mess. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report. I'm telling you like it is, man. You know why people don't respect Christianity? Because it became just love, no war, peace, everybody, peace, kumbaya. We're not sitting kumbaya with the devil and with the enemies. There's enemies that want to destroy the very things of God. It's been happening throughout the course of history, throughout human existence. It's been happening. Yet we go with the narrative. We go with what they do. Why? Because we are afraid to speak. We have lost our voice. We have lost our influence. We have lost our power. And it's time to rise again. It is time to stand up again. It is time to make a difference again. Where are the true prophets? Where are the true ministers who will take a stand in this day and this hour? Yes, I'm filled with zeal. I have a holy anger, a holy zeal that cannot be contained, and I cannot be stopped. Who else will stand up and declare this? And the day that has become so blinding, so perverse, so deceptive, that it will take many and take them as victims. We have victimized everything. We've turned everything into a hate. And this is not what it's all about. I'm not here to cause a debate. I'm not here to cause a fight. I'm not here to cause a popularity contest. I'm here to speak the truth no matter what. I know what I stand for. I'm not wishy-washy. I'm not someone double-minded. That's the problem with Christians today. We don't know how to take a stand. We're so fearful. And because of that, you're not prepared about what's to take place because you have turned your back. You have followed man, you have idolized them, and you have rejected God. Oh, don't tell me that you haven't, because if he was in a nation, this nation wouldn't be in the mess. It wouldn't be in the predicament. It wouldn't be in the dilemma that it is right now. This broadcaster, this communicator is not standing idle and standing back. It needs to change. One person can change things around. One person can turn the tide. Who's going to be that person who will turn the tide around? Who's that person that's going to speak up when they should speak up? Who's that person that's going to share when they should share? Who's that person? Is that you? I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you out. Oh, you could take this from Joe Rogan. You could take Tucker Carlson. You can take this from Blaze Media. But who am I? He's just an up and coming man that's just on a rant. I'm not on a rant. I know those kind of podcasts that just rant. They're just angry. They just go off the rails. But on this podcast, we're not just going to just push the blame. We're going to give you the facts. We're going to give you the truth. We're going to bring documentation. We're going to give you the information. But then we're going to give you solutions. That's the problem that we have with media. Media doesn't know how to give you a solution. They know how to argue. They know how to fight. They know how to debate. They know how to bury narratives. They know how to bury lies. They know how to do things deceptive, but they don't know how to bring both stories together and give people the opportunity to make their choice. There's no more decision making. They make it for you. And that's what we become. We become this information overload, this digital natives that have taken over, that have no understanding of common sense. Everything is a digital world. You know that digital world will be enslaving. It's going to cause you to give your allegiance to a beast. Technology will become the beast. Technology will cause people to bow their allegiance to its power. And it has power. And it has the power to do evil and has the power to do good. And where do you stand? Where do you stand? And maybe this is not something that you want to hear. I mean, I can tell you this. The message, this voice is not a popular voice. But in fact, it needs to become popular because we need a populist movement. Not the populist movement that we see today. How can I say this? We are those who are influenced by celebrities, movie stars, people with big power. But you know, they're only going to stay on the side. They're only going to be with their people. They're only going to stay with their crowd. They could care less about the small people. They could care less about the average person who just barely making it. We shift around the issues of how our economy is falling apart, how the inflation, hyperinflation. I talk about this. I actually did a video called Slow Fade on the VOR Watchmen, my YouTube channel. I can tell you that very few people have responded to that video. Why? Because they think, I'm going to tell you, I got to say this. I'm under the radar, and the time is going to come when you know that what is spoken on the VOR Watchmen report comes to pass. We have divorced everything. We have divorced true prophecy with culture. We have divorced true prophecy with government issues, politics, and current events and social issues. And what we've done is given it all power to them. And the church has become this weak, one-sided, once a great contender, but have muted our voice. We became quiet and we're afraid. And that was the issue, to bully you into submission to where you can't speak up no more. I don't think that if we look at the Bible, and people say, well, the Bible, that's an outdated book. People don't believe those things no more. I'm telling you, that book right there has more insight on current issues than any report or any news outlet that you can ever have or ever think they will. that knows what is happening right now. It's just that there's so many that don't understand it because they're reading it with the wrong glasses, reading it with their own perspective, their own one-sided culture, Western culture. I got to stop here because I'm coming to an end. The VOR Watchman Report is out and it's running and it's going forth. Yeah, it's not polished. There's no notes. There's no points here. I'm just going to get on and I'm going to share and I'm going to give you an opportunity. It's time to make a choice. You decide what you want to do. I'm going to lay out the word. I'm going to lay out the information. I'm going to lay out the revelation. I'm going to lay out what we can do. Now it's up to you because now my hands are Now my hands are clean. Now my hands are not, I'm not responsible. That is what the watchman does. He has a responsibility to bring the forecast, to bring the report, and then give it to you, give you every strategy and put a game plan together, and then you decide, is it something that you want to do or not? I won't be responsible for you not doing it. I need to stay focused and get this message, and I need your help to get it out. Isaac with the VOR Watchman Report. Find out more at thevor.net. We are creating an alternative to news, prophecy, and revival. We are revival ministry that is prophetic, that is going to bring you current events, news, and it's also going to give you solutions and answers to a world gone crazy, in a world that's gone insane. We're going to bring sanity to the insanity. We're closed with this. I'm coming back with a whole more. I got so much more to share. But we're going to get into more discussions on what is real justice. We're going to talk about digital. We're going to talk about the AI world. We got so many things to not only discuss, but this gives me an opportunity to share this while we have our other program, the VOR radio show, which has been going on for 9 years. The VOR Watchman Report is a spinoff of the Voice of Revival. This is a spinoff, and I've always wanted to do this, but now we have the opportunity to do this. And how do we do it? We just go for it, man. You have something that is burning in you. Why do you wait? Why do you hesitate? Why are you waiting for somebody? Do it. But do it with excellence. All right, Isaac, I'll be back again with the VOR Watchman Report the next time. Bye-bye.